City Council for April 26, 2023. Roll call, please.
Mr. Dangler?
Here.
Mr. Viera?
I'm here.
Dr. Vogt?
Here.
Dr. Selly?
Here.
Mrs. Wittes is absent. I hereby certify that this meeting has been published in the newspaper in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act and posted as required by law.
Thank you very much. And the first one up is our Director of Public Safety.
Yes, thank you very much. I'm getting a tickle. So I just want to start by, thanking the mayor and the council for the opportunity to serve in this position as public safety director. I truly consider it a privilege. It is a privilege to serve the residents of the city of Long Branch. And I'm really enjoying myself here so far. So I want to start by I just want to give you a general summary of my experience here since I started in October. It's been 7 months, and it's incredible. I'm amazed that it's actually been 7 months, but it's gone fast, and it's been enjoyable. I've enjoyed every single moment of it. So I've been spending a lot of my time just trying to familiarize myself with the employees, with procedures, and just really trying to get to know, everybody in the departments, of which I'm in charge of. In the police department, I hold many meetings.
Aaron Eskenazi?
Okay, we have the call.
6 o'clock,
Okay.
yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
So in the police department, I started out in the police department by holding meet and greets so I could meet the various employees. I met with the captains, commanders, lieutenants, sergeants, and I'm even getting down to the clerical workers as well. I was able to meet them. My goal is really to meet everyone in the department. So now I'm down to riding with people. I'm doing ride-alongs. It's interesting when you get into a car with someone and you're able to ride and talk. And, I think it's going to be an hour, and I wind up riding with them 2.5 hours instead. So that's my plan going forward. I'm going to be riding along with all the officers, so I will get to personally meet with everyone, give them my contact information, and make myself available. I also hold daily meetings within the department. Very often things come up. I have to convene meetings immediately to address certain issues. I also hold bi-weekly meetings with the captains. We come together as a command staff, and we meet and discuss various issues and community concerns. I also hold quarterly meetings with the quarterly ComStat meetings with all the commanders and some police supervisors as well, where we'll go over crime statistics and different issues within the department and try to work out how we can address certain issues and community concerns and to make the department operate in a more efficient and effective manner. I also have met with union officials as well to address any concerns that they may have. And one of the most important things that I believe that I'm doing is the daily police logs, the daily call logs. Those to me are critical, they're important. They give me insight into what the officers are actually doing on the road, what the concerns of the community, the community concerns are at the present time. And it just gives me, a handle on what's happening in the community and the types of services that we're actually providing. And from that material, I pass that on to the mayor, council, and business administrator. And I think it gives you a clear picture of what's going on in your town. And from that, I plan to, continue to analyze all the materials so that I can make an assessment to make sure that we have the appropriate manpower, that we have any tools that we may need to serve the needs of the community. The fire department, I did the same thing in the fire department, did a meet and greet with the chiefs and the captains. On the volunteer side, I've gone to many of their events. I think it's important for me to be visible so that they see that I'm there and that I can encourage them in their volunteer efforts, because I think it's a special person who's willing to volunteer their time to go fight fires. So I'm out there trying to encourage them and also trying to get more members to join the fire department as well. I've toured all of the firehouses, so I got a good opportunity to see, all the equipment that the town owns and the position of the equipment as well. I also hold weekly meetings with the fire chief, the captain, and the first and second assistant chiefs. We usually do it, it's usually by Zoom, but we hold a weekly meeting. This way that keeps us in contact and allows us to address any issues that may be of concern. I also meet with the business administrator. We meet and text back and forth all the time on a variety of issues, and I just want to thank him for his support and the relationship that we're actually building. I really enjoy working with him as well. I also have the opportunity to meet with Stan. Periodically we'll meet if there's any type of OEM issue. He makes sure that I'm informed of any public safety issues or anything of concern. So I appreciate the relationship with him as well. So as I continue to move forward in the department, I'm familiarizing myself with protocols and day-to-day operations and reviewing and revising procedures and orders as I need to. I've had the opportunity to go out into the community and make many community contacts. I've met with our law enforcement partners at various events. I had an opportunity in October to meet with, to attend the asset coordination meeting of the prosecutor's office. That's where they bring all the law enforcement agencies in the county together, and we coordinate our activities. From that meeting, we may form task force to deal with certain issues occurring within the city here in Long Branch or within the county that may impact Long Branch. So I'm developing those relationships with county officials, state officials, local contiguous municipalities as well. I had the opportunity to meet with the sheriff on April 5th. He gave me a nice tour of his facility, showed me all the equipment that they have, equipment that's available to Long Branch that can be used for a variety of issues. So he has a lot going on there. It's an amazing facility that they've built. And also I've known him for many years. Long Branch Public Schools. I've met with school officials. I meet with them regularly. I text with them regularly. If there's any issues that come up, I'm texting with them immediately. With Mr. Riley and Mr. Rodriguez, we're in constant contact with each other, dealing with any issues that may arise. Recently I had the opportunity to go and speak with them about school resource officers. They wanted to have a conversation about school resource officers and how they would actually work, so I made a small presentation to them. I also had the opportunity to attend a career fair at the high school. We had the police department and fire department there, and the volunteers as well came up on March 30th, and we were at the career fair there. I also, I attended a webinar at the end of this year, going into the next school year. Each school is going to have a school threat assessment team, and they're going to have local partners as part of that team. So on April 20th, I went and I did the class for threat assessments. So I don't think I'll be part of the team, but at least I'll know what's going on, and I'll be able to talk to them about the different, people that should be on the team, and actually what a threat assessment team will actually do. So I'll be a good resource there as well. I also had the opportunity to meet with Student Leaders of Hope. That's a program that the Monmouth County Prosecutor's Office sponsors. They were here in Long Branch. Myself and Captain Rizzuto, we presented to them. We presented to them on leadership. We made up an acronym and told them all about leadership, and we had a great time. And then we had a graduation yesterday. They graduated at Brookdale. So it was very nice to see young kids from Long Branch in a leadership program. I also met with Monmouth University. They have a community relations task force, so I met all the officials there. We sit down every month or so and talk about issues that may impact Long Branch. Other chiefs of police are there as well, so I normally regularly attend that meeting. I also had the opportunity to meet with religious leaders from the Long Branch community. One of the first things I did is I attended a service at Second Baptist and introduced myself there. I did that in October. Then I met with Reverend Dr. Leslie Devereaux from Trinity AME Church. And from my meeting with her, I wound up hosting an active threat awareness training seminar for all clergy throughout the community. And we did that on January 11th, and it was well attended and well received as well. I also met with members of the Jewish community to discuss the various issues and threats and graffiti and things that may be targeted toward the Jewish community. I reached out to each of the rabbis, and we've had ongoing conversations. I met with Father Butler from St. Michael's. I attended the Blue Mass prayer ceremony for police officers in Freehold. And I met Father Michaels there. I met the bishop as well. And we're planning to have on June 4th first responder mass for local municipalities. I also met with Apostle Dr. Gloria James, and we discussed our police chaplains program, and we scheduled for, there's going to be a National Day of Prayer on May 4th, and I'm going to actually do the prayer for police officers and firefighters. I've met with Long Branch Housing Authority officials, Dr. Wright and Board Chairman Coven. Board Chairman Coven took me around, gave me a tour of all the Housing Authority facilities, and I keep ongoing communication with Director Wright. I also had the opportunity to meet with officials at Monmouth Medical Center. I met with the security director and the public relations person back in January. I also had the opportunity to go to the drug court. I was able to speak with people involved in the drug court, encourage them in their program and in dealing with the challenges that they face. And I also attended their graduation as well to try to show the importance of it and try to encourage each of them. I'm also a part of Long Branch Hears. I attend the monthly meetings of Long Branch Hears. I try my best to make the best contribution that I can make, but I think that that's an important program. I think people dealing with addictions, they need assistance, they need help. And everything that I can do and the department can do, we're gonna do it to help those people deal with those challenges. I also had the opportunity to give the Martin Luther King address for the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Guild of Greater Long Branch, their ceremony in January. I was truly honored to be able to give that address. I also gave a similar address at the Rotary Club in February. I've met with Luciana Silva from the BR Center. And that was it was emotional. You know, when she starts explaining to you all of the challenges and you know, people preying upon immigrants who you know, really can't defend themselves. When you talk to her, it's really heartwarming. So we recently met. We had a second meeting. We met for breakfast, and she's going to set up some individual meetings for me to talk to some people who have various concerns. I met with the Ocean Place director and general manager, the security director and the general manager on March 29th. They gave me a tour of that complete facility, and we wind up establishing a good communication so that when the summer finally hits and the season starts, their busy season, we're established, we know who each other is, and we can communicate effectively and deal with any problems that may come up. I also met with the owners of Rooney's and the Promenade Beach Club. I had a nice tour of the beach club. I've eaten at Rooney's several times, so I didn't need a tour of Rooney's, but the BA was with me as well, and we had a discussion about various concerns in the summer and the boardwalk and the beach. So we have a good line of communication established there. So I just want to move on to some of the things that I've been able to accomplish, and I'm going to start with, the fire department. I've reviewed, the mutual aid call-out procedures. We have procedures for when to call out mutual aid when we get called into another town and we have to backfill our local fire department. So that is something that, I met with the captain. We came up with a new procedure. We came up with a procedure using an app. This will limit the number of firefighters responding to the firehouse. They'll see who's responding, and will maintain a certain number of people responding, which will reduce our costs. So we'll have 5 people responding instead of 10 people responding. Everyone responding to the call, to that call. I established a new minimum staffing policy that we're going to have on a trial basis. Since we've recently hired new firefighters just before I got here, we're going to raise the minimum. That'll give us more people actually on the fire ground, and that's something that they really wanted. And we're going to try that on a trial basis to see the impact of it. We're going to try that until December of this year. I completed the budget for the fire department with a very minimum increase. I completed the capital budget as well. The capital budget's much larger. There's some serious apparatus issues that we need to deal with. We know that it's going to take 2-3 years before we get a piece of equipment if we ordered it today. So all of that information is is in the hands of the council. I also conducted a review of the department's equipment and the maintenance of the vehicles. And we made a change that is actually, allowing us to achieve significant savings. We're having the DPW do some regular service on the vehicles as opposed to sending those vehicles out to a specific company that works on fire trucks. So in doing that, we're saving significantly on maintenance on the vehicles. Also with the fire department, I've attended, many volunteer events. I've done the Santa ride, the awards dinner, mutual aid dinner. I attend the monthly officers' meetings. And most importantly, throughout both departments, I try to make sure that I'm there when officers have funerals in their families. I think that is a very important time for me to be there to support my personnel. And I think that that's something that people really, really appreciate. So our current focus and goals and plans in the fire department, we're working with the BA on mutual aid agreements with area towns. We're establishing an equipment acquisition committee so that when we finally get approval to move forward with the purchase of apparatus, we'll know exactly what we want. We will have tested various equipment, and we'll be prepared to take action immediately. I've started a review of the department's SOPs, of the fire department's SOPs and rules and regulations. There's about 49 current SOPs for the fire department, so I'm gonna have to go through each and every one of them word for word with the captains and the chiefs, and we're just gonna start weekly, going through each and every one of them. One thing that I feel is important is trying to bolster the department with volunteers. We're seeing that we're having, volunteers are starting to trickle in a little bit, but we're gonna do an information campaign, a public information campaign, and try to really encourage people to join the volunteer fire department. And my final goal is to just ensure unity in that department. Unity of the volunteers and the uniform division, and I think we're making great headway. They seem to be working together very well. We seem to be getting more volunteers coming out to fires. We've had several structure fires recently, and the volunteers seem to be coming out. We're getting a very good turnout. With the police department, some of my accomplishments and positive changes there. The one important thing that I've done is I've made a change in my office. I switched Kelly and Sue, and I think that this change has actually worked for the better. I think it has led to both of them being put into a job that matches their skill set, and I think that is leading to both of them being happier and getting more satisfaction, out of doing their job. Now Kelly, she's a great employee. She is 100% suited for what I need, and she's used to doing it. And she has really made my office very, very productive and responsive to the needs of the department and to the needs of the community as well. The budget, I did the budget for the police department, very small increase there, kept things to a minimum. Did the capital budget as well. There's a couple of capital items we're working on now, radars and laptops. We're working on that as right now. One of the big things with the police department is we have a contract with Lexipol, and this contract was to update the department's SOPs, and because people retired and you know, we kind of fell behind, got a little bit behind, but we had a meeting. We were able to get a little bit more time for Lexipol to stick with us and help us get completed with those SOPs. And we sat there every week, read all the pages and got it all done. And you know, it's finally done. So we had a total of about 55 SOPs that we finalized, about 939 policy pages that were completed, that I read every single page because I'm signing it. So I'm reading every single page because, you know, I had to sign it. Those are my policies. So it was a good experience, and we finally got it done. The rules and regulations, those will be coming up for approval shortly. They're done. The table of organization, I had the opportunity to change and reorganize the table of organization under 3 captains. So you don't have the current system of, you know, half of the department is under 1 captain. So it'll be broken down into, under 3 captains: investigations, patrol, and support services. This will give each of those subunits the opportunity to receive the proper attention that they should receive from a commander. That will be put into effect very shortly. But it's all done, it's completed, and ready to go. I also had the opportunity to, working with the BA, look at the hiring process, you know, to make sure that we have things streamlined, that we have the appropriate checklists so that nothing gets left out, so that everyone in that process is notified of exactly, you know, what's going on at any particular given time. Currently, we have we're at 92 right now, maybe just a hair over. We are going to have some retirements as we move forward. There's approximately 11 total officers eligible to retire before year's end, and 4 will be retired as of September 1st. Also, I redeveloped or changed the promotion process. I've brought the people who are being promoted before the council to be promoted. I think it's a good thing. It's a good thing to introduce them to the public as well as they take on their new position within the department. We're also having the restart of the Citizens Police Academy. We're going to have a 3-week class. It's actually going on now. It was April 19th to 26th and May 3rd, and that's for seniors at the Bucky James Center. Then we're going to restart the 8-week class in October for the regular, you know, citizenry. The SLEOs, we're getting ready to move into the busy season, and we're trying to get as many SLEOs as we possibly can. Currently, we have about 37 SLEO 1s, 15 SLEO 2 part-time, and 4 SLEO 2 full-time. We still have some in the academy. The upcoming graduations will be May 10th, 26th, and July 1st. As of May 26th, all but 2 part-time SLEOs will have graduated and will be on the schedule. This year, we actually deployed a little bit earlier because of the good weather. We had, in April, people out on the beach in bathing suits, families out on the beach. So this year, we're going to be really focused on dealing with the normal issues that the town experiences along the beachfront, and we're going to be on top of it, because I'm going to be there too, to make sure that this goes right. So We also have in the department, we have, we have these ComStat meetings, as I said before. I'm continuing with that. My goal is to make our ComStat meetings more productive, try to analyze the data we have, garner something from the data, and make some sort of impact using a data-driven approach. So that'll be my focus with ComStat. And really, the town receives a lot of the same complaints. And some of the complaints are difficult to address. We receive lots of speeding complaints. We receive lots of noise complaints. And the noise complaints, we're gonna address it with enforcement. The first time we go there, we'll tell you to turn it down. You don't turn it down, we come back the second time, we issue a summons. I think that hopefully, we'll see less noise complaints as we go forward. One of the things that I think is important, and I see this as really the future of law enforcement, is social work and social workers and police coming together. I had the opportunity to attend a law enforcement and social worker conference in March. There's several departments that have a social worker embedded in the department. The social worker works in the department. I have spoken to the BA. He has explained to me about our new technology center. We're gonna have social workers there. I'm hoping to take that one step further, and maybe I can steal one of them and get them working, more closely with us, because they have access to the resources. They have time to get people the help that they really, really need. Because the officers are going on a lot of repetitive calls. We had one incident where we had an individual, 320 calls to involving this one particular person. That's enough calls for a whole section of town. We were able to pull all of the mental health officials together and finally get that person the help that they actually need. Now through reading the call log, I see another one emerging. A name that I see. I'm seeing this constantly. And those require officers to constantly deal with that person. They're going back and forth. So that's the issue that a social worker could help us with, to ensure that that person is getting the care that they need and deserve, and not just being taken to the hospital by the police. They come back, police take them again. That is something that we want to work on and that we want to stop. So that's really the end of my report. I'll answer any questions that anyone has, and that's it.
I don't have any questions, but I think you're doing an awesome job.
Thank you.
And a lot of people think the public safety director is just dealing with the police and the fire. You just explained it. The churches, the hotels, the beach clubs, everybody else is involved in that, so kudos to you.
Thank you.
Anybody else have any questions?
Thank you, Lee. You're doing a fine job. To echo the same thing Mary just said. Being visible is important all throughout.
So I agree with my council colleagues. Excellent presentation, excellent job. As you were moving through it, I was writing down different questions, and as you moved from one topic to the next, you kept answering the questions. So like the flow of what you're doing right now, I think is just totally right on target. Introducing yourself to the neighborhood, getting people to know you, trust you, getting your staff to know you, trust you, building all of those relationships. So a lot of details with that, but just overall spectacular. Two things. And this is something that the mayor and actually the business administrator and I had talked about, that may help address the director's immediate question about a social worker. And, you know, to be talked about more, but the Department of Human Services for the county is placing their staff that are right now in Freehold, they are placing them in locations throughout the county. We're talking about social workers, exactly what you said. And we had a meeting that was set up that had to be canceled for one reason or another, but we might want to reschedule that meeting and specifically talk about what, you know, how it could be of value to you right now. But it was, to hear you say that and know that that was an option for us, maybe we'll put that on the follow-up list to do. What's your biggest challenge going forward, and how can we support you?
Well, I think that we're getting ready to go into the busy season, and I really want to see what this season is like. Right now, our biggest challenge, I mean, it's having the bodies. It's having the bodies to address, you know, all of the concerns. You know, we can't get as many SLEO 2s as we want. We can't get as many SLEO 1s, you know, as we want. You know, I want to see what happens, you know, during the season. We're going to try to eke out every efficiency that we can. When I look at the call log, you know, I'm seeing many times where calls are holding. You know, a call is pending. And I'm asking myself, you know, why are calls pending? You know, some of the calls that the officers may be on involve two people. If you're dealing with somebody who's mentally ill, that's probably tying up two people. You know, you gotta take people to the jail, that takes two people. You're arresting people. So these are the things that, you know, we're talking and evaluating, you know, before, you know, we come, you know, make a recommendation. I understand that, you know, you're on a whole town, you know, there's all different types of concerns that you have to deal with that are equally important. But, you know, I'm gonna work with the business administrator, and, you know, we'll let you know.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
what we think, and, you know, he knows what's doable, and, you know, I'm not gonna come to you and say something to you that isn't doable.
Yeah.
You know, if I come to you and say, this is what I need and this is what I think we should really have, I'm gonna come to you with, you know, with full knowledge, and hopefully you understand that I'm saying this because this is what, you know, I really believe, or, you know, I can demonstrate it to you as well. So I'm gonna reserve, you know, but, you know, obviously we need more bodies. I don't know what the summer's gonna bring here. You know, if you add 70,000 people, I don't know what that's gonna, I've never been somewhere that's added 70,000 people.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have our people deployed efficiently, and, you know, once we have them deployed, you know, efficiently, we'll see what happens.
Well, I'm gonna speak for my fellow council.
No.
Oh, no, okay, I'm gonna speak for myself. I appreciate you taking this whole process so seriously and putting together such a thoughtful and thorough report. It was excellent. See, you would have liked to have been a part of that.
Thank you very much, Director, thank you very much for a nice report. I
Really.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Do we have any old business to discuss?
No,
How about
No.
new business?
no new business.
And then we'll try for the review of the regular meeting agenda.
Just a quick question. We're also going to provide lifeguards for Ocean. We're gonna continue to do that, correct?
For where, I'm sorry?
For Ocean Township?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought, okay.
Okay, if there are no questions, I need a motion to close the public portion of the meeting.
So move.
Second.
All in favor? Anybody opposed? I need a motion to adopt resolution R 106-23 to go into executive session for the following items. Attorney-client privilege, which is volunteer commissions, and number 2 would be the administrator update, Mr. Shirley.
So moved.
Second.